I was born into luxury. I lived in a palace. My father was a king. I had everything I could ever want. Yet, I felt a deep sense of unease. I saw suffering outside the palace walls. I witnessed old age, sickness, and death. These sights troubled me deeply. I wanted to understand the true nature of life. I knew that true happiness lay beyond the confines of my luxurious life. I was not content with material possessions. I longed for something more. I was determined to find the truth. My heart yearned for liberation from suffering. This desire set me on a remarkable journey. It was a journey that would change the world.
Siddhartha Gautama, a prince surrounded by opulence, felt a profound sense of discontent. Despite having everything, he was deeply troubled by the suffering he saw beyond the palace walls. This yearning for understanding and liberation from suffering marked the beginning of a journey that would ultimately change the world. One day, Prince Siddhartha ventured outside his palace walls. He had lived a sheltered life, and now he encountered the realities of the world.
I am frail and bent with age. This sight made Siddhartha realize that aging was inevitable.
I am weak and in pain. Siddhartha realized that sickness could afflict anyone.
These encounters shook Siddhartha to his core. He had never seen such suffering before. Then he saw a funeral procession. A dead person was being carried away. Death, Siddhartha realized, was the ultimate fate of all beings. Finally, the prince saw a holy man.
I'm calm and serene. I have found peace.
This encounter gave Siddhartha hope. He realized that there might be a way to overcome suffering. These foresights were a turning point in Siddhartha's life. They made him question everything. The prince knew he had to find a way to escape the cycle of suffering. The foresights had a profound impact on Siddhartha. He could no longer ignore the suffering of the world. He realized that his life of luxury was meaningless.
I decided to renounce my royal life. I left the palace and my family behind. I was determined to find a way to end suffering. This decision was not easy. I was leaving behind a life of comfort and privilege.
Siddhartha's act of renunciation became known as the Great Renunciation. He exchanged his fine clothes for simple robes. He vowed to live as a wandering ascetic. He would seek wisdom from various teachers. Siddhartha was determined to find the truth. He was willing to sacrifice everything to achieve his goal. His journey would take him down a long and arduous path. But Siddhartha was resolute in his quest. He would not rest until he found enlightenment. Siddhartha's quest for enlightenment led him to practice extreme asceticism. He believed that by punishing his body he could free his mind. But despite his efforts, Siddhartha did not find enlightenment.
I was close to death. I had experienced a state of deep peace while meditating under a rose apple tree. I realized that the answer lay not in extremes, it lay in balance. I would now seek the middle way.
He understood that enlightenment lay in balance, not in extremes. Section 5, Mara's Challenge, Temptation at the Brink of Enlightenment. Siddhartha's new path led him to meditate beneath a Bodhi tree. But first, he had to face a final test.
I am Mara, the god of desire. I challenge you, Siddhartha.
Mara represented all the temptations that could prevent Siddhartha from reaching his goal, but Siddhartha remained steadfast. Siddhartha saw through Mara's illusions. Mara, defeated, finally left Siddhartha in peace. Section 6, Under the Bodhi Tree, Achieving Nirvana. Siddhartha meditated beneath the Bodhi tree. He delved deeper into his own consciousness. He confronted the nature of suffering. Finally, as the morning star rose, Siddhartha achieved enlightenment. He had reached nirvana. Siddhartha became known as the Buddha. This means the awakened one. The Four Noble Truths. Diagnosing the human condition, the Buddha's teachings offered a path to enlightenment. They centered around the Four Noble Truths. The first Noble Truth states that life is suffering. This is a universal truth. The second Noble Truth states that suffering is caused by attachment. The third Noble Truth states that suffering can be overcome. The fourth Noble Truth states that the way to overcome suffering is through the Eightfold Path. The Four Noble Truths offer a diagnosis of the human condition. The Eightfold Path, a prescription for liberation. The Eightfold Path is the Buddha's prescription for liberation from suffering. It outlines 8 interconnected practices. These practices lead to enlightenment. The path is divided into wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. Right understanding and right thought form the wisdom aspect. They encourage us to cultivate wisdom and understanding. Right speech, right action, and right livelihood guide our behavior. They encourage us to speak truthfully, act kindly, and earn a living ethically. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration develop mental discipline. They help us to cultivate wholesome states of mind. By cultivating these 8 aspects, we gradually free ourselves from suffering. We move closer to enlightenment. Buddha's message for everyone. The Buddha's journey from prince to enlightened teacher is inspiring. His message is universal. It transcends time, culture, and religion. The Buddha's teachings are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. They address the human condition. They offer solutions to the problems that we face. The Buddha taught that happiness comes from within. It is not dependent on external circumstances. True happiness is found through cultivating wisdom, compassion, and ethical living. The Buddha's teachings are not about becoming a Buddhist. They are about awakening to our true nature. They are about living a life of purpose and meaning. The Buddha's journey reminds us that we all have the potential to awaken. We can all find peace and happiness within ourselves. His teachings offer a path to achieve this goal. The Buddha's message is one of hope and possibility. It is a message that has resonated with millions of people around the world. Buddhism's impact on the world. The Buddha's teachings had a profound impact. They spread from India to Asia. Buddhism became a major world religion. It has millions of followers today. The teachings influenced art, literature, and philosophy. They inspire people from all walks of life. Mindfulness and compassion are embraced by many. They help cope with modern life stresses. The Buddha's message of peace is relevant today. It offers a path to resolving conflict. It promotes understanding and compassion. The Buddha's legacy is powerful. His teachings have endured for over 2,500 years. They offer wisdom and guidance worldwide. The Buddha's message is a gift to humanity. It is a gift that continues to give. Section 11. Finding your path, applying Buddha's teachings today. The Buddha's journey can inspire us all. We can apply his teachings in our own lives. Cultivate mindfulness and compassion. Live ethically and appreciate the present moment. The Buddha's teachings offer a path to peace and fulfillment.